drive. What a defense. What
You
a
know,
zone defense.
that's one of the things that we might have learned so far about this series is that there's one team that can get to the free throw line a little bit more than another team.
Yep.
So
So, in regards to the NBA Finals, though,
yeah,
like how Giannis is performing and how he's feeling, I want what he has. Like, please tell me how to be as healthy as he is to where he can have a bad leg injury and get up. I get tired from tying my shoes still sometimes, Connor. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And his older brother, he's been saying during the finals, his older brother is pushing him to just be a better leader for the team. Nice block. His older brother's pushing him to be a better leader for the team. But what an athlete, what a person. I am I am just absolutely amazed.
yeah, I will have what he's having, and I think part of that is being on the right side of 30 for an NBA basketball player there with Mr. Giannis, and very he has done. You know, we are talking about Otani earlier doing things that we haven't seen in a very long time. Giannis has he's been on some lists that the only other people that are on those lists are Michael Jordan and Larry Bird as it relates to uh, good night. You can't hit that. What are you doing there, son? Um, as it relates to his
Or
40-point games and 20-point quarters. Let's not forget in game two, he had a 20-point quarter, which is very, very impressive. That is for sure.
extremely impressive, extremely dominant, just an absolute athlete who just lost the ball for me. So,
Rutledge, what do you
I
think
think what
about? Yeah, so not just that, but as it relates to the other players, right? Because you could be a team maybe like this, the Phoenix Suns circa Friend Stream Sports tonight that's trying to pack the paint on Giannis, uh, and he's still attacking, but you truly can't do it alone. What do you think about Giannis's supporting cast?
I think that, and especially when he got hurt, they all stepped up. Didn't Brook Lopez against Atlanta have like a 43 point game or did something huge? Chris Middleton has become that good perimeter shot this entire playoffs. So the team is really starting to gel really well. I'm a big fan of Brook Lopez in the paint as a center. I think he knows what he's doing on a very high level. So the supporting cast, and we've said this before, and I think I covered this earlier in the season, with Drew Holiday, the front office for Milwaukee finally gave the pieces around Giannis to let him kind of carry it. He he has the team to support him. Now they're not as system basketball as the Suns, but Connor, we've talked a lot about the Bucks the past couple weeks. How do you feel about Phoenix's looking? I know that loss stings, and Devin Booker after the loss, I don't know if you saw him, he looked like his parents took away his Halloween candy in front of him and then started eating it. Or like,
I think it's interesting, right? Um, the Suns are such an interesting team because they've got the younger players. Chris Paul's 36, yes, but outside of that, you've got a lot of young players that uh, do need to have some adversity, and there are just some times in the NBA where grown men are doing grown men things. The amount of, I feel like there's always a little bit in every sport where they say, well, this is just a grown man's game. You know what? That's kind of true as it relates to the NBA, especially in the playoffs, and especially with the capability of a guy like Giannis and Chris Middleton. Now, I think that having Chris Paul in the lineup is going to keep Phoenix from kind of imploding. He's going to help keep their heads about them and their heads straight. Um, but um, you know, and it's actually something I kind of saw going into this. I kind of figured that the Bucks wins were going to be a little more, or the Bucks wins were going to be a little bit more blowout type fashion, where the Suns were going to have to kind of grind out and squeak out a couple wins, and that's what we saw. I think the Bucks when their A+ game is better than the Suns' A+ game.
oh, for sure.
I just think that Suns are going to play better and more consistently, right? It's more likely to have go this A plus game that we saw in Game 3, and then see a C game like potentially in Game 4. So I think that's where, as long as the Suns keep their heads about them, that they're going to be okay.
Yeah, the Suns are definitely made to wear you down in a long man's game, and the Bucks are built to just give you so much basketball in your face all at once. It's like the Bucks are like an extra large soda at the movies. When they're on point, you're just like, my goodness, why do I have this? That was a hard foul. That's a hard fall.
That's a playoff foul right there. It's interesting in Game 3. A quick little stat: we're talking about the Bucks being the team that are going to come at you, and the Suns not necessarily being that team. Um, Giannis shot 17 free throws, although he's really the only Buck shooting free throws and the only Buck really getting to the line. The Phoenix Suns in Game 3 shot 16 free throws.
The Greek Freak lives on.
So definitely, I think we're going to see a much more and continue to see a steady diet of Giannis, and that's got to be the recipe for the win for Milwaukee. So
yeah, they if Giannis is on, it seems like Phoenix cannot stop him. And then if they do try to stop him, the supporting cast steps up.
So Rutledge, I want to ask you this question here as we head towards the end of the third quarter. Regardless of whether or not the Suns win, Chris Paul being 36 is going to have a contract coming up, and there's rumors that Chris Paul is going to want a 4-year contract. If you're Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul being 36 and injury prone, and it's really more of an aberration that he's not hurt right now, how would you handle that?
I think it's going to have to be where are the other contracts? So just some other names in Phoenix that are good producers. What does Ayton's contract look like? And then what does Devin Booker's look like? Are you going to have to pay these young guys? Because Chris Paul's, he's not going to need a max deal, but how are you going to keep him on the roster and then keep everyone else happy? I think especially with how young this team is and what you said, he keeps their head in the game, and he keeps them, he keeps them young and loyal. But how will that role progress further? And then can you afford it? Right? So I would keep him if I can make the money work without hitting the luxury tax. Because I know right now everyone in Phoenix, is all high on them because they're in the finals. They want to see it happen. Great team, but can they afford it? It's not like when LA would pay for it like that.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, because Chris Paul, hopefully one day friend of the show Colin Cowherd has made some great points about this Chris Paul contract. Chris Paul is the player representative for the NBA Players Association. He's not taking a pay cut. Drew Brees, when he was the head of the Players Association for the New Orleans Saints. Good night. How did I nearly forget that Drew Brees played for the Saints? Yeah, he never took a pay cut until after he had stopped being that player representative. So, going to be very interesting to see what happens with Chris Paul if he does stay. If players are still going to continue to respond to his style.
Is Ricky Rubio's style responsive yet? Because he's just. Oh, look at that! That was a foul.
He's playing all right.